A recent Census Bureau poll shows that homeschooling in 2020 increased by almost 300%. That's exactly right. In an unprecedented move, the Census Bureau in 2020 did two polls. They did a poll in the spring, in April and May of 2020, and they did this poll nationally, which has been done before, but also the difference is this time they broke it down by state. And so in 2020, in United States of America, according to this poll by the Census Bureau, there were 5.1% of the students in this country were being homeschooled. And they went through that and they made sure that these students were actually being homeschooled. They are not doing online in a public school or online curriculum from a private school. These are actually children who are being homeschooled by their parents. So in September and October, they did another poll in the same way, and they determined that homeschooling had increased in the United States of America from 5.1% to 11% in October. So on a national level, homeschooling doubled in 2020. The interesting thing is they broke this out, as I mentioned, by state. And so in Texas, those numbers in the spring of 2020 were 4.5%. That was a huge increase from an estimated 3% or 3.5% in previous years. But the astounding thing is that in September and October, homeschooling in Texas had increased to 12.3%, from 4.5 to 12.3%. That's almost a 300% increase. But that's not the most amazing thing. The most amazing thing is, according to this Census Bureau poll, the largest demographic that homeschooling increased was in the minority community. So in Hispanics, that increase was 6%. They went from 3.3% to 9%. And among black homeschool families, that increase was an astounding 13%, from 3.3 to 16%. So those numbers are astounding. We continue to see homeschooling grow. And the amazing thing, a recent U.S. Department of Education study showed that among homeschoolers now, a full 40%, and it may be more than that now, are actually minority families who are teaching their kids at home. So across the board, what we're seeing among families is families are choosing to take full control of their children's education and teach them at home. Now, it won't surprise you that those people who are opponents of homeschooling, like the Harvard law professor who last year argued that homeschooling should be presumptively banned. In other words, states shouldn't allow people to homeschool unless the state specifically gives each individual family the approval to homeschool. And you might remember that Harvard was planning a summit on homeschooling that was canceled because of the coronavirus last year. And all the people they had speaking were really anti-homeschooling folks, or folks who really wanted the state to regulate homeschooling. Well, it seems that Harvard is now from May the 6th to June the 17th, are going to have a daily panel discussion called the Post-Pandemic Future of Homeschooling. So it won't surprise you that a lot of those folks do believe that parents should not have the freedom to choose to homeschool. They should be heavily regulated by the state. So we're going to be monitoring that. The good news is that there's at least token representation on these panels now with some homeschool proponents. So we'll be following that and following these other developments. So it is so exciting to see homeschooling growing in such a dramatic way. So click on the links below for more information, and thank you for helping us keep Texas families free.